In this video, I'll uncover the best sugar substitutes that you must know about if you want to improve your health. As a doctor who's highly involved in patient care, one of the things we always look to do is help people reverse their conditions, and we do this by getting to the root cause of the problem. Now, when we think of the root cause of many people's problems, what comes to top of mind is going to be the topic of sugar. And the reason for this is because so many people are over-consuming sugar. It's estimated that the average person here in the United States is consuming over 150 pounds of sugar per year. Now, the thing is, it's not just here in the United States, it's starting to become a problem worldwide. And so if you're over-consuming sugar, you have a major problem because this sugar deteriorates the body from the inside out. So that's why in this video, we're going to talk about the 7 best sugar substitutes that you must know about if you're interested in improving your health. So stick around to the end of this video. Before we get started, I'm Dr. Zyrowski and welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to hit the notification bell, join our notification community, and that way I can help you excel your health and your life. Let's go ahead and talk about sugar and all the damage it's causing to the body, because we're going to, of course, get to the different sugar substitutes, but I want to talk about the damage that it's causing, because this, I hope, will push you to start ditching the sugar and making better options, choosing the better options I'm about to share with you in this video. So, dangers of sugar. First is going to be weight gain, okay? Obesity, weight gain, belly fat, these are all major issues, and they're leading to a major health crisis, because basically what we know is if somebody has obesity, if somebody has an excess amount of belly fat, it's linked to so many problems. Insulin resistance, type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, high blood pressure. I mean, the list goes on. Fatty liver, fatty pancreas, if you watched a recent video that I did. Heart disease is another major issue that many people are facing as a result of a poor lifestyle that involves too much sugar. You know, I do a lot of different lab tests on people, and one of the things that I constantly see when they come back is cholesterol being an issue, triglycerides being an issue, homocysteine being an issue, inflammatory markers like C-reactive protein through the roof. I mean, one of the things that sugar does really well in the body is it increases inflammation. So heart disease is a big one. So many people are dying prematurely from heart-related problems. Type 2 diabetes, as I mentioned, cancer. Now, sugar and cancer also go really well together, because one of the things that cancer cells really love is sugar. I mean, they've done all these different studies, and when you go and expose these cancer cells to sugar, they thrive. When you take the sugar away, the cancer cell does not thrive. So that's why so many people who are having problems with cancer go and do the ketogenic diet. It helps kill off some of these cancer cells. Depression is also a major issue, because what happens is, as you are driving inflammation in the body through eating too much sugar, you basically release an inflammatory cascade in the brain. You're going to affect neurotransmitters. This involves things like dopamine, serotonin. And what happens is, when this is occurring, these people who have this inflammation issue, they get psychological disorders, they get depression, they get anxiety, and guess what happens when you start to clear it up? And I've done this time and time again with people. When I start working to go and reduce brain inflammation, a lot of the different mental disorders that they're suffering from start to clear up, and it's very awesome to see. And I think that's a very, very important point, because so many people are going out there and getting anti-anxiety medication and depression medication, where this is the root cause of their problem. So depression, increased aging. I always tell people, if you want to be the oldest person on your block, be sure to just keep scooping sugar into your coffee and into your food, because it is going to really cause your body to age quickly. Fatty liver, I already mentioned that. Fatty pancreas, Alzheimer's, and dementia. Sugar is highly linked. Overconsumption of sugar is highly linked to these issues. This is referred to in many ways as type 3 diabetes, because it's a deterioration of the neurological tissue of the brain due to an overconsumption of sugar for a long period of time. Alzheimer's and dementia. Acne is also related to too much sugar, and then cellular dysfunction, okay? Because as you eat a lot of sugar, you increase inflammation in the cell wall. The good nutrients can't get into the cell, and the bad things, the waste, can't get out of the cell. You get mitochondrial dysfunction, and you create havoc within your body. When you start talking about massive cellular inflammation and cellular dysfunction, I mean, you're literally talking about your whole body suffering at this point. You're talking about autoimmune disorders, so many problems happening. So we have to make sure that we realize that sugar is related to a lot of these different disease processes. Now, let's talk about the best natural sugars. I broke these down into 2 categories, because these are the natural natural sugars, they're still going to raise your blood sugar, but the thing is that they're more natural. They actually have some benefits to them. When you take like a bleached white sugar coming from a GMO sugar beet, that has no benefit to your body. When you're taking some of this cane sugar, that has no benefit, right? There's no nutrient density to a bleached white sugar. However, when we look at some of these natural sugars right here, one of the things that we will find is that there is some benefit to them. Okay, so in this category, you need to be non-type 2 diabetic, and you also may want to make sure that you don't have insulin resistance if you're utilizing these, okay? So if you have either one of those issues, stay tuned as we're going to talk about what you're going to use if you have these issues. So let's say you're all clear of that. Now let's talk about some of the natural sweeteners. Raw honey is really great. Raw honey is considered a superfood and it has a lot of benefits, loaded with B vitamins, lots of good healthy enzymes, minerals, and antioxidants. People have been using raw honey for so many years, whether it's for, putting on your skin for skin issues, consuming it in order to help your stomach health, your gastrointestinal health, and overall bodily health. Raw honey is very powerful. It's been around forever. And so it's not something that we can just say, oh, it's a sugar, it's no good, we can't have this in our life, right? It has a lot of benefits to it. So this is one thing that you can use as a good natural sugar. The other thing you can use is dates, okay? Dates are also great because, if you're old enough to remember like I am, when people were using the paleo diet in order to reverse health conditions and getting the best health of their life, remember those days? It wasn't that long ago. There was this big paleo boom and everybody was, posting pictures how they were reversing diabetes and they were reversing health conditions all by using the paleo diet. Now people look at the paleo diet like that's no good. That's not beneficial anymore. And it's all about the keto diet, right? But now we're in the keto boom. But the thing is that there's still many people following this method of eating good, organic, whole foods. And when you do that, you can use dates as a sweetener, okay? You can use dates in order to make energy bars. You can use dates to sweeten desserts that you're making. Dates are very high in natural sugar, so therefore they are a great thing that you can utilize in order to sweeten some of your foods. They got lots of B vitamins, antioxidants, minerals, and also fiber in them. We've used dates for years when we're making different bars and things like that for the kids, different desserts for the kids, because it works as a good natural sweetener. Coconut sugar is great too. Minerals, antioxidants, some good fiber in there as well. And then lastly, maple syrup is also one of the better natural sugars. It has lots of antioxidants and minerals. Now, as I said, okay, because there will be people in the comments that will blow this whole thing out of proportion. It will come. But I'm going to tell you, these are things that you should not consume in excess. You should never go and consume any natural sugars in excess because, of course, they can still lead to major health crises. But the thing is that it's highly unlikely that you're going to have major health crises from this, okay? It's going to be the high fructose corn syrup. It's going to be the bleached white sugar coming from the GMO sugar beet. It's going to be those types of sugars that are highly correlated with fatty liver disease and many, many other issues, okay? It's not raw honey and dates and coconut sugar. So let's go ahead and talk about the best sugar alternatives. This is important because a lot of people are going to like sweet and low, aspartame, sucralose, all these different, chemically lab-made synthetic sweeteners that are really terrible for your health, and when in fact you need to be looking for something like this, okay? So if you fall into the category of type 2 diabetes or insulin resistance, then this is what you want to make sure that you're following. If you're trying to do the ketogenic diet, this is something that you want to make sure you're following. And let me tell you, you don't have to have these issues to do this. I mean, I utilize these every single day and I have neither of those, but I still think it's also a good thing that we can, and a good habit that we can get into, utilize these versus anything that will spike your blood sugar. So stevia and monk fruit are two of the top ones, okay? These are great because they are derived from a good whole food. They're antibacterial, they're anti-inflammatory, nutrient dense, promotes weight loss, and good for your gut health, okay? So these are really great. When people are following the ketogenic diet, these are the two of the top ones that they're going to use right here. Now, when we look at these two though, they have a little bit of a taste to them. And there's a lot of people who start using them and they don't like that flavor that it gives their coffee or their drink or maybe the dessert that they're making with it. So a lot of people go and they turn to things like xylitol, okay? Xylitol and erythritol right here are sugar alcohols. Now these sugar alcohols are the most like sugar in the way that they're going to taste the most like sugar. So a lot of people like them the most. Now, erythritol in particular and xylitol, they can cause gastrointestinal distress when consumed in excess, simply because they are a sugar alcohol, and that's what they do. Some people will just have a little bit of it and it can cause gastrointestinal distress. They have to avoid these altogether. And some people, they're only going to have a problem with gastrointestinal distress if they're consuming it in excess, consuming a lot of it. So of course, we don't want to do like a direct sugar replacement with erythritol and xylitol. We want to make sure that we're doing far less. Otherwise, we will be running to the bathroom, of course. And we have to be careful with that. So erythritol, though, sugar alcohol, there's about 0.24 calories per gram. So a lot of people really like this one. And then a lot of people will like xylitol, but they'll use it in just minimal amounts typically because it has 2.4 calories per gram. And so when people are following the ketogenic diet, there's an argument whether or not it can, raise your blood sugar a little bit. But once again, compared to high fructose corn syrup or something like that, it doesn't even fall into the same category. They're not even on the same continuum here. So we want to utilize these if we have these issues, or we're just looking to keep our blood sugar really low for health purposes. Now, what you can do too is you can go and get blends. You can get like erythritol xylitol blends or erythritol monk fruit stevia blends, and those are really great because they don't hit you really hard with that flavored monk fruit or stevia, whereas it gives, a really nice taste if you get these blended up. And what I'll do is I'll try to put in the description below some sort of different products that I would typically use in my home when it comes to these different blends right here. So utilize this information right here in order to improve your health. Tell me in the comment section below your experience with this stuff here. I'd love to know. I mean, I have experience with all of it. Growing up, we used to make maple syrup at our house. We would tap the trees, do the whole thing. We'd have the bee farm. We did it all. And so I have a lot of experience with everything here. And then of course, being very much involved in working with patients and people who have serious issues, we really focus on these different natural sugar alternatives right here. So put in the comment section below your experience, give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and then also check out this video over here that's going to teach you how to break a sugar addiction. So important. Check it out. Balance that blood sugar. It's going to help balance that insulin, and that's really key when we're looking at breaking the sugar addiction, balancing insulin out by consuming these types of foods right here.